Hi everyone, this is Noor. Welcome to my channel. It's a privilege and an honor to connect with you through this message. This is a weekly oracle message. I do a reading every Sunday and share a concise report in the form of a YouTube short and an Instagram reel the same day. I have created decks of my own for these readings with the guidance of my spirit team, including my higher self. The major themes that I cover in my readings include the astrological influence, life area being affected in that particular time, chakras that are being highlighted, angel numbers, spirit animals, colors, and more. So, do stay till the end for some simple and practical advice for this time period. So let's start with the overall theme, which is connection with spirit. So we are being guided to renew or deepen our connection with the spirit realm. This is a good point to remind ourselves that our inner reality is what dictates our outer reality. As we shift the energies within us, the physical world will respond. I think that in our adult years, we've all heard the phrase putting in the work in the context of getting results in any area of our life that we want to improve in. And as the Earth's consciousness aligns more with the higher dimensions and energies, the universe is reminding us right now that the real work is the inner work, that when we turn our attention on improving ourselves from within, the shifts will be visible in our outer world as well. As within, so without. To me, this time period also feels like a major reckoning of the work that we have already done and acknowledging how far it has brought us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The same theme resonates with the next cards, silence and fear. So, this has come up under the section of release and receive. We are being encouraged to release the fears around the manifestation of all that we have been working for so long. And when we clear the residual energy of fear, allow silence to take its place, and invite the divine to sit in the space where fear once was. And talking of clearing, under the healing section of this reading, we have the card Sage that came up as a guidance card. So, this takes the message of energy clearing even further, asking us not only to focus on clearing our inner energy, but also that of our environment, the space that we live in, bringing in a sense of sanctity to it. I do want to share a personal experience here. While I was preparing to do the sage cleanse in my room, there was a strong smell of cloves that hit my senses, and I knew that I did not have them anywhere around me. So I just took it as a message from the universe. And as you're aware, cloves have been used for protection and energy cleansing for ages. And I used them in that cleansing ritual, and I'm sure that, that is exactly what I needed at that time, in addition to the sage cleanse. So, my advice is that do be open to whatever guidance you might receive from your guides as well in this context. So, moving on, in the cosmic influence section, we have the cards Comet and the asteroid Eris. So, Comet and the asteroid Eris are shaping up the astrological energies of the collective right now, and comets, as you're aware, are symbolic of sudden shifts in the form of chaos and death and disruption. And this is something that we have seen playing up on the world stage this week. I don't want to get into the specific, but this energy of death and destruction and chaos has been pretty heavy in the collective. Additionally, the comet 3I Atlas may also play a role in the energetic dynamic this week, and I do believe that it is closest to the Earth today on the day of recording this message. I am a believer that we are receiving light codes and messages through the AI, through the 3I Atlas comet. And interestingly enough, I've been very intrigued by the name 3I, which reminds me of the third eye and the mythology of Atlas, which could also be worth looking into right now, as it could bring up some personal insights. The asteroid Eris also has a similar energy of discord, of strife, of chaos. And this energy is a continuation of some themes that may have started last week. This time, this week brings some solace as we can expect an awakening to happen as a result of this chaos. There could be changes that could be set up in place, and these changes would be regarded as much needed and much waited for. Um, so, the asteroid Eris is also known as the feminine awakener of the cosmos, which to me is hinting at the wounded feminine energy that could show up in either gender in our personal lives. What it could mean is that perhaps there is a feminine energy that could trigger this chaos. The wounded feminine energy could trigger up this chaos, and this wounded feminine energy could belong to either gender. It does not matter who the executor, who the carrier of that wounded feminine energy is. It could either be male or female. And this could also serve as an opportunity for you personally to realize that your response now to such a trigger in your life, to such disruption, is silence. Not in the sense of lacking the courage to speak up, but in a manner that shows that old fears do not have the same hold on you. Meaning that whatever chaos might come up during this time will be a positive realization of your growth and your maturity. So, do watch out for some insights and realizations that may hit your awareness as you navigate these inner and outer shifts. Next, we have the cards nature and spirituality as the two life areas that are being brought to our focus during this time. So, the shifts that can sometimes feel very overwhelming for our physical or mental emotional bodies have to be somehow integrated. So the message is to return to our true nature, to our authenticity, because that is what keeps us grounded in these evolutionary times. Similarly, being in nature also takes the pressure off of our physical self and helps us to return to our balanced mind and body. Next up, we have the angel number 1111, and I'm aware that this number is generally associated with manifestation and leadership and breakthroughs and new beginnings. While all these themes could show up for some, but I also feel that the mirroring aspect of 1111 is what would show up for most people in the collective. As I mentioned previously, we'll be reminded that our inner reality is reflected in the outside world. So, 1111 as an angel number is a confirmation of the same, that as long as we keep doing the inner work, the manifest world will keep improving as well. Additionally, you can also use mirror work during this time to manifest your desires or to communicate deeply with your inner self. Moving on, the next card that came up is Thorn Weaver from the Fey Oracle. So the fairies are bringing up Thorn Weaver as a message, which means boundaries and protection. And the message of this card is that your pain once guarded your magic and now it can rest. This is beautiful. Your pain once guarded your magic, now it can rest. So it guides us to lower our guard during this time and trust that our fears have resolved and transmuted into faith and power. And earlier we spoke about silence and fear that came up as themes in releasing and receiving. So I think this is a time of a silent observation of our own inner growth and just how far we have come in our own personal journey as well. This might not be the right time to take any action in this regard. So yeah, the general idea is that we are receiving confirmation of our own inner healing, and now it is time for us to put more faith in our skills, our talents, the gifts that we've been given, and start using them in a way of expressing ourselves. And connected to this message is the next card from the Dream Space Oracle, which is the Bridge. So, this card symbolizes connection, transition, and continuity. And the message is that between the unseen and between the seen and the unseen, your heart is the bridge. So, we can all sense that this is a time of transition, that we are either shifting dimensions or shifting timelines. And any time that we are going through such a journey, it is best to remain in our heart space. Um, as we are moving from the lower dimensions to the higher dimensions, it is the heart that will be able to guide us, that will be able to remind us what our true north is and act in this time period accordingly. I also want to bring up the Chakra Oracle for the week, and the card that we have from the Chakra Oracle is Light Body, which means that our physical and etheric chakras are undergoing an upgrade leading up to the activation of our light body, which also requires us to remain in our heart space because, as I mentioned earlier, the heart is the bridge. It bridges the lower chakras and the higher chakras, the lower dimensions and the higher dimensions, the visible world and the invisible world, the physical and the spiritual. You get the idea. And with the message of silence, when I connect it with the light body activation, I would also suggest that please use this time to give your body a lot of rest, because when we do undergo some sort of cleansing, we sometimes do feel the rushes of energy, but this might not be the right time to act on those energetic impulses. It might be a good idea to just let this energy integrate and settle fully before we act on it. This brings me to the color oracle for the time, which gave us the colors indigo and violet. So, the color indigo symbolizes inner sight and magic, while violet stands for spirituality and transcendence. They also stand for the third eye chakra and the crown chakra, respectively, and they both represent the higher realms. So, it may be a good idea again to meditate on these colors or these chakras, or even to somehow include them in your day to day routine. I have created short meditations for the third eye chakra and the crown chakra, which I link here in case you want to practice guided meditations for the same. And I'm also reminded here that we spoke about the third eye chakra earlier, also in reference to the three eye atlas comet. So everything sort of just, ties up together with the energetic dynamic of this week. And the next card we have is journaling from the Stoic Oracle. So I created the deck Stoic Oracle precisely for myself to be able to navigate the ascension without feeling that emotional overwhelm, because I know that as an empath, that is something that I tend to divulge in. So this is one way of bringing my mental and emotional body to balance. And journaling about our day or a particular situation is a good activity to process our thoughts and emotions in a healthy way and to bring in mental and emotional clarity. Okay, so we are almost concluding this reading with a reflection card from the Reflection Prompt Oracle. And the prompt for the week is: what emotion am I refusing to sit with these days? And how am I distracting myself from the work? I'll repeat. What emotion am I refusing to sit with these days, and how am I distracting myself from the work? You can use this prompt for journaling or just as an inspiration to sit with and reflect over as a meditation. This prompt also connects with the previous message of what the real work is. It is not on the outside. The outside will get taken care of once you focus on the inside, once you focus on the inner work. So the more we work on our inner self, the outer work, the physical reality becomes much more easier, not just to navigate, but even to manifest. And before I conclude the message, let's do a final wrap up of the themes that can show up this week. So I'll just give you small keywords, and these include being in the heart space and healing the shadow. Being in the heart space and healing the shadow. Facing old fears and triggers with a fresh perspective. Facing old fears and triggers with a fresh perspective. Grounding ourselves and protecting our boundaries during inner transformation. Grounding ourselves and protecting our boundaries during inner transformation. So that's just about it. And in the end, I leave you with an affirmation that will act as a good anchor for the spirit this week. So the affirmation is: the divine flows freely through my being. I repeat, the divine flows freely through my being. So sit with this meditation, affirmation, and use it during your meditation, or just use it as a general reminder to yourself during this time that the divine is within you, the divine is outside of you. You are the divine energy that is acting in the human form. So there is no need, no space for fear anymore, and just allow things to take shape and form as they will. So that's all that I have for you today. If this message has connected with you, I hope that it helps you to return to your highest nature and make your life a true blessing. If you've stayed with me till the end of this message, do let me know in the comments what resonated with you, how these energies have shown up in your life, or simply how you are navigating these wonderful times. I'll speak to you all soon again. Thank you.